That's
awesome. Hey, everybody. We're a little bit late. We're talking about important stuff and Polite Pig and
unimportant stuff. It's really fine. Yeah.
And lines from the old great movie, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I can't wait to be down for Illuminations, though. Yes. It's actually called Epcot Forever.
Oh my God.
Or actually just 9 months.
Yes, exactly. Or however 6 months or however long they're going to have.
Disney, it could last for 7 years.
Well, that's true. They do seem to have the other one like in line, like they got a name for it. I mean, it's a dumb name.
Is it Harmonious or is it Harmonious?
It's us. Harmonious.
Us. The emphasis is on the us.
I think it's Harmonious. Like you're just. And then what's the China? It's got us on the end too.
Oh no, it's just Wondrous China, not
us.
That's
it, Wondrous China.
No, well, it doesn't. They don't have it capitalized.
No, that's going to be though. It's like the gondolas. We got to start the whole thing. It's Wondrous.
Oh my gosh! And speaking of, did you see the pin I posted? They have pins now for the gondolas.
I know. I am against buying those stupid pins. I'm sorry. I am not gonna buy. They're cool. I'm not buying a pin that they used to give away for free.
I'm not one who's like, I'm gonna take my stand on this. Like, this is the thing that you're not gonna spend money on their pins.
But when I go down in 18 days, 20 days actually from the time we're recording, I am buying the Christmas ornament of the gondolas. That is so
cute. Yes, that is.
Yes, that is really cool
this year. Because I'll have I bought the last Illuminations Christmas ornament in July. That was the last time I was gonna see it. Psych. And then now I'm gonna get the gondolas. So but there's like 4 or 5 of them. I can't decide. I don't think I want the Star Wars characters. I think I want just the Fab 5.
Got it.
There's also Haunted Mansion, which is pretty sweet too.
Haunted Mansion is sweet. Yeah.
Oh man, tough. I don't know what I'm gonna buy.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff.
It's the only place you can get those at Disney Springs. I wouldn't plan on going there. I'm only there for 3 days. Is the only place you can get those, Rikki, at the Christmas?
Yeah, because Mike's going to be going to the parks because he never gets to ride any of the attractions. So he's got to be at the
attractions. I might build a way.
I don't know. I would say maybe you have a shot at it in like the Emporium, but I don't know where they're selling those.
I don't either.
Oh wait, there's the Christmas shop in the Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom. I'm hoping they're there. I'm going to go there. But God, I will go because they're that cool. I will go to Disney Springs to buy one, but I do not want to have to waste like 2 hours.
Bob's getting on. I'm gonna get you, Bob. Don't even. Mike, can you afford to buy a lightsaber? Or can you afford to buy the ornament after the lightsaber?
I like ornament for like $27, man. They're expensive, but
you get your annual pass discount. Use that.
Okay, wow, that's a lot.
I know it's a whole 10.
But it's like I think it's got like 3 parts to it though. That's how I kind of justify. It's got like 3 cars, like 3.
Got it.
Buckets. Anyway, let's
it.
Good stuff.
Buckets is the word you said.
Stab buckets. Okay, here we go. 15:36. Here we go. My dad texts me. Nope, not yet. Okay, here we go. Big sigh. Let me cut that out as I hit record.
Is that me?
Everybody, take your breath. Okay.
Okay.
Because I'll forget to edit that out. The whole show will start with a big.
And there's that.
Exactly. I could be like Matt and back. 3, 2, 1. I don't do that. I should. I'm not professional. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1536 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. We are so glad that you're here because we are here. All 3 of us. We're so glad to be back together answering your listener questions. We're going to talk all kinds of fun stuff today. So strap in. We've got some great questions, and hopefully we've got some pretty decent answers as well. Joining me today from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, TouringPlans.com, and the Mouse for Less, where you need to be each and every day. We have Rikki. Rikki, what's going on today?
Well, I mean, you're giving us a lot of credit for saying that we'll have decent answers. I mean, let's just be perfectly honest. It's us, so we probably won't.
Significant others would say that we give a good shot. We give it the old college try.
We do. We definitely give it the college try. So, I mean, I can't say we're good, but we'll give you some answer. It just it may not be the right one.
You know what? My grandma Ramen would be very proud of the answers I give here.
There you go. That's good.
She'd be so because I will tell you this. When I used to teach elementary school, now my grandma passed away, probably 5 years ago now. But we always had grandparents' day in my 6th grade class, as most schools do, they have grandparents' day, usually early in the year. It's actually about this time of the year. and all my kids' grandparents would come in, but my grandma would come.
Oh, that's adorable. I love that. That's so cute.
She was always first one there and last one to leave. So
oh, that's awesome. She was proud of her little Mikey, wasn't she?
I think let this guy teach. Is he really a teacher? I guess he is. Anyway, so also joining us, we're so glad to have her back, Pam Forster-Coder, the Magic for Less Travel. What's up in Pittsburgh, Pam?
I am back. This summer has been like one of the craziest of my life, but now I'm actually at home until, well, sort of, because I have the Indie Disney meet coming up, which we're so excited about. Please join us September 21st. Yeah. I was like 21st. No, I'm driving over there the 20th. So it's the 21st in Indy at the fairgrounds there. But we're so excited about that. You're going to see the podcast is going to be there. The travel agency is going to be there. There's auction stuff there. And I will tell you, I just sent Kim and Aaron some photos of some of the auction stuff that the agency's given, including some very cool Galaxy's Edge stuff. There's that thing from Tiffany's that I had picked up at one point. So, I mean, there's lots of stuff that's going over there. So check out that. So anyways, besides that, I'm going to be home, I think, until October something.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
no, I'm actually not home in any weekends in September because we had the football game this past weekend. We got the football game this coming weekend, Indie Disney meet. Then I'll be down to a little place called Walt Disney World.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Can't wait. Anyway, so the Fountain of Nations has been drained, but it will be refilled with my tears on September 30th.
They're going to be refilled with more tears and a lot of other people's tears that night. That's fine.
So don't worry, it's only temporarily empty. It'll be refilled with Rahlman tears.
Got it.
Oh my!
I hope not. We'll see. Anyway, that's why I'm going solo. So hopefully nobody sees. If anybody has a camera around me, don't, because I don't want to be the big mess on.
Too funny.
Be sad. It'd actually be worse if it was like holiday illuminations at the end, because if I had some Walter Cronkite for the last time, I would be torn up.
That was like us watching it for New Year's Eve the last time, and we're just like, no, it's over.
So sad. All right, let's get to the first question of the day, and it's a first Run Disney help question from Kelsey. Hi, BOGP crew. I'll be running my first Run Disney event this February, the Fairy Tale Challenge. I'm having a dilemma because I can only take one day off from work. I've been there. For Marathon Weekend a few years ago. Anyway, my options are, number one, fly in Friday morning and fly out Sunday night. I could potentially fly in Thursday evening with this option also, or fly in Friday night after work and fly out Monday night. Which would you choose? If I fly in Friday night, is there still a way I can get my number for the races on the day of? I would arrive around 9 p.m. on Friday night to Walt Disney World. Please help. Thank you, Run Disney first-timer Kelsey. She's 1,292 miles from Walt Disney World. All right, so here's really what I decided on my one time. Marathon Weekend, I didn't have enough days off because you only got 2 personal days, and I was doing the Dopey Challenge and all that stuff. And so I just changed careers. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's true, though, actually.
No, just playing. So I've kind of done both. I will say that the one year I ran the full marathon on Sunday and flew out Sunday night and was at school on Monday. So I actually did that. Didn't even take a shower. It kind of stunk, but what can you do? I got on the plane. We finished the race. We ate at Via Napoli, straight to the airport, made it home in time to teach school on Monday after running the marathon on Sunday. So that can be done. It is not comfortable. It is really rough that whole following week at work, but it can be done. And that gets you there. I always say, especially for a first-time Run Disney person, get there as early as you can. You don't want to be there Friday or Saturday morning trying to get – you can get your number at the race, but it's a mess. They will do that, but it's a big mess. I mean, you can technically do it. There's like a runner's place where they help you before you go to the corrals. It can be done, but best advice I would say to bite the bullet, go home right after the race on Sunday night. You're running 2 races. It's not horribly terrible. And get there as early as you can because you want to go to the expo. That's part of the fun. So Pam, what would you say to Kelsey in this kind of a situation? I mean, it's get there early, or it's tough when you only have one day off. I get it. So
it really is. And I often wonder folks that want to come in at the last minute and do a race, they don't have the package pickup. It's not like sometimes races you can pick up what you need the morning of the race, right? And you would think since the Disney races start, way, way early, that they would make something available later, the night before, but they just don't. Mm-hmm. They don't make it easier. So you do have to be there to pick up your package in advance, and you have to do that to run the race. There's really is no other thing. So I remember the year that you ran, and then took a plane ride home.
Oh, it was rough. It was when I first started flying, but it was better than driving. I made it home.
Yes.
Oh man, I was locked up on that airplane, man. I can tell you, because I love Southwest. Don't get me wrong, but I'm 6'3", and I always have to have a window seat, so I'm crammed in like a pretzel. And I had run 26 miles, and I can't get across the living room when I'm do that.
Yeah.
So it was rough, but it's just one of those things. You don't have a really great option either way. Plus, here's the thing. If you pick up your number the morning of the race, you only get your number. You still have to work your way back to the expo that day at some point to get your shirts and all that stuff. It's a huge hassle.
I know it is. I wish that they would come up with something that made it easier. Other races seem to be able to do that for the most part. I know that they're, they want the person who they want to see the ID. They want to make sure it matches. They want to do all of that. But golly, are we using these times for Olympic trials? Is that why?
For Boston, I think you can for Boston, but you're right. It's a fun race. Here's the thing I've always said: charge $50 and have your packet delivered to your hotel room.
Hello, and then just ask at the front desk. It can be the mini golf tickets or whatever, anything else like that. When you get to the front desk, they're always like, "Oh, I have a package here for you."
They always do that to me, and I always get so excited. I'm like, Disney's hooking me up. Do you have something cool? Oh, sir, here's your voucher to play putt-putt. I'm like, oh,
yes, I know. So yeah, I think that there's a way to do that, but right now it's not super convenient. But it is what it is at the end of the day. So I think you just have to do whatever it is you have to do. You have to pick the lesser of two evils, sort of, in that space. Yeah. So
you want to get there early and enjoy it. The environment's cool. You don't want to be, because the thing is, I hate being late to things, and that's kind of like being late. That's what I always told my kids. You got to get to school on time, because if you join us after 15 minutes of the day has started, you're just off the entire day. Because you're behind, you're catching up.
Mm-hmm.
You get your morning work done, you get your pencil sharpened. Whatever. I'm going back to education. But next question. Too much there, Rikki. This one's going to be for you because we have a shout out to some princesses at the end, and this is going to be your shout out, even though we don't do shout outs, but we do. All right. It's from Luke. He says, WDW vacation planning question. Let's hear. Hello, Pam, Rikki, and Mike. My wife and our 2 children visited Walt Disney World for the Christmas season in 2018 and are returning in May of 2020. Other than Galaxy's Edge, what kind of new things can we expect in the parks? Will any of the new Epcot features and attractions be ready? Also, if you could please say hello to my daughters, Princess Eliana and baby Amelin, they would love it. Thanks so much for your help, Luke.
You just want me to try to pronounce those names?
Maybe it's Amy Lynn. I think it's Amy Lynn and Eliana.
Oh, okay.
All right. They don't want it from me. They want it from the big shot, Rikki.
No, yes, exactly. Well, shout out to Amy Lynn and Ariana, right?
Eliana.
Eliana. Okay, sorry. I already screwed it up. My bad. See, this is why Mike wanted me to do it. Yeah.
So basically, what has changed besides Galaxy's Edge from Christmas 2018 to May 2020, specifically for Epcot?
Okay, so May 2020, it depends on when they go. At Epcot, they may or may not get the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure that is supposed to open in the summer of 2020. And Disney, obviously, we don't know when that would be right now. So you may or may, because sometimes in May you get those, summer things open early, and sometimes you don't. So there's really no way to say whether or not right now you'll get that. But you will have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which will be opening in the spring of next year. So that's good. And of course, did they go before Toy Story Land, or did they go
Christmas 2018?
Okay, yeah. So they went
after Toy Story.
After Toy Story Land. Okay, got it. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much all the really big new things. You've got, of course, Galaxy's Edge is the biggest, but yeah, I think that's going to be all the big new things that are open.
Good stuff. All right. William's got a question in the live chat. He's always here. We appreciate that so much. He says, we normally have 4 adults and 2 kids going to be 4 and 2 next year. Any recommendations on bounce back dates? He says June 26th to September 12th, and hotel recommendations. We've done Pop and are now doing Yacht Club next week. Is it time to get 2 rooms, or would a deluxe be enough room? Also, if we did 2 rooms, is it any different when doing the bounce back offer for 2 rooms? William. All right, so the bounce back, so for 2020 right now, and it could change at any moment, and it'll probably change by the time this posts, because that's how Disney does us all the time. They do that to us, and what we're going to do a new show. But, there's a select set of dates. I think it is, off the top of my head, May 26th, June 2nd right now, June 26th to September 12th, and December 9th to the 24th of 2020. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what they are. I've been quoting them constantly, but now that I got the mic open, I feel like I can't remember. But what it is, it's the tiered free dining. Quick service for the values and moderates, and deluxe for the or standard dining for the deluxe resorts. That was very clear. So basically, Pam, talk to them. They're looking at maybe a bounce back. That's kind of what it is. But hotel recommendations, they've done Pop and they're doing Yacht next week. What's something they might want to give a shot to? There's 4 adults and 2 kids, so I'll go 2 room.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. What happens is, I think, as you consider whether you want 1 room or 2 rooms, is the bathroom becomes the issue. The bathroom is the issue, right? Having 2 bathrooms becomes more and more valuable and more like a luxury that you really want to have. And so that's something to think about. It also gives you a little bit of space to sort of spread out and spend some time apart from each other. Too. And I think that sometimes that's a plus too. I mean, think about it. You take whatever size your home is, you're coming from a home that's probably way bigger than your hotel room, and you're taking your family and jamming them all in a room for a little bit. There's bound to be some tense moments, maybe, or some moments when you're all getting a little tired of each other. That's normal. That's okay. So that's what it typically comes down to for that. Now, as far as booking a bounce back offer, it's not any different than doing 2 rooms instead of 1. You're still going to have access to the same offer. Each adult in your room is able to book a bounce back offer, so you're good there. Some of the things that you may want to consider is, do you want to do like 2 rooms and a moderate? What are the kind of things are important to you when you think about vacationing? Is it, you're going to be at the yacht club, so that's going to be a hard compare when it comes to pools, because you're staying at the one that has the best. But, there's some great pools at the moderate resorts too. Each of them has a slide in that main pool, and I think that's something that a lot of kids really enjoy. I remember when Hannah was little, her going down the slide maybe 100 or 200 times every time we were at the resort. I mean, it was a constant, Mom, I'm going to go down the slide. Okay, I went down. I'm going to get back in line. Can I go down again? I mean, I think I did that for hours and hours of my life. So anyways, but that's a cool thing. That's what vacations are about. So that's something that's important. Are the restaurants that are at the resort, is that something that's important to you? If so, all of the moderates have not only quick service, but a table service, except for French Quarter sort of shares Riverside's table service. But if that's something that's really important to you, the one I'm going to pick is Coronado.
I was going to say, it's 2 rooms at Coronado. Great pool, awesome restaurants, and it's the easiest one to go from a yacht club down to a moderate.
Yeah, absolutely. And staying in the tower in particular makes that feel a lot like a deluxe resort. It just really does. You have those options available to you. It's gorgeous. It is so, so pretty. I can't say enough good things about this hotel. I actually had the chance to stay there again. So I've stayed at it a couple times since it's opened already. That's how much I like it. Just going to say it. So yeah, it's great. But yeah, so absolutely take advantage of the bounce back, because the good news is, if an offer that would come out after that is better, you can always adjust your price based on availability. So go and enjoy.
That's right. And you got to place your deposit to buy the day you check out at midnight, and give your travel agent or whoever's doing this a little bit more time than, 11 o'clock that night. It's because they're closed. So, just give them a heads up at least a day in advance before you check out. What I always tell my guests is, like, once you check in, get everything set, to shoot me a pre-trip, you can email me with details. what you're
Right.
looking for. Then once you check in, shoot me a text message. Hey, we're here. We're check on that. And then I check on it. We get it all set, during the trip. That's kind of an easy way to go about it. So kind of get yourself prepared. Just place the deposit while you're there, and then you can change, cancel, modify based on availability down the line if you need to. But you can't get it once you're gone. So it's a do it then or forever hold your peace. It's kind of like getting married, I guess. Anyway, next question. Rikki, this one's for you. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Hey, Mike, I'm planning on doing Disney World mid-March 2020. Disney has announced that this ride will open spring 2020. Do you think there's any chance it'll open as soon as March? Thanks. I love the podcast and listen every week. Diana.
I mean, there's always a chance. It just depends on how. So I know that part of the problem with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is it's pretty technologically advanced. So getting the whole system to work well together and mesh well together has been kind of a bit of a challenge, and that's why it got pushed back from, summer of this year to spring of next year, from what I understand. So, until we get a date, I honestly don't know. It depends. It might get pushed back again. And, spring doesn't until the middle of June. So exactly. So, I mean, it could open up as early March, or it could open up as, late as June, or past that. It just kind of depends,
I would say
it's not very good at sharing that information until they're ready to share that information. So
this is just Rahlman's way of looking at life with Disney, with stuff like this. I would not count on it, and if it happens, man, I'd be doing cartwheels.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just how you guys do things like that. All right, we got some feedback here from Matt. Last week we talked about the Disney PhotoPass Studio. We mentioned about that, and Matt wrote in yesterday with some comments on it. So he says, "Hey Mike, heard you and Rikki discussing the Disney Springs PhotoPass Studio. Wanted to share our experience with it. We were at Walt Disney World on our honeymoon with a thought beforehand about having photos for a Christmas card. We heard amazing news reports from many podcasts about it, like the sessions are super private or 30 plus minutes, and an article stating there were numerous props at our disposal. My wife was looking forward to making sure her makeup was looking good, so she was contemplating doing a makeup session over at Sephora beforehand. I know that Rikki or Mallory talks about that all the time.
Got it.
Like a makeup store inside Macy's, right, or something like that.
I mean, there is one, I'm sure. Yes.
Okay, good. But at $50, decided to do it herself and chance the boat ride over from Riverside in the feels like temperature of 106.
Yikes.
I guess 106 feels like kind of melt your makeup right off.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess the wind. Let's see here. So we arrived and there was one family ahead of us. And instead of entering the large queue that they have, we just hung out at the guest services desk. We were seen within 5 minutes and walked into the first of two open gray backgrounds. The first photographer asked us to smile, then look scared, then point to something. Okay. Tell them to look scared. I thought it was
like the photographer looks scared.
It's very important to punctuate, people. Punctuate. So the first photographer asked us to smile, then look scared, then point to something towards him, and we were done. We then moved to the second background. This one took much longer, about 5 minutes. There was a small decorative chair, and we took turns doing very traditional Target/JCPenney Studios poses, and then we were done with the entire process. You know what we used to go to when I was a kid? It was a place called Olin Mills.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
Did you guys go there too?
I mean, obviously I didn't.
Photographs with the signature in the corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had white hair, like white blonde hair and like a sugar bowl haircut. Like I looked like Mo.
Yes, of course you did. Yeah.
Anyway, we had the whole day free before the Halloween party, so we had lunch at the Chicken Guy. By the time we ate our lunch, our photos loaded into the app. We enjoyed the green screen photos of us on an empty Main Street, USA, scared in a ghost-filled attic of the Haunted Mansion.
That says Christmas.
Whatever. Oohing and eyeing at fireworks at the gate in Japan in Epcot, but they weren't what we were looking for. Yeah. The standard background with the fancy chair was nice, and we thought we had a few that we could use, went back for more, and skipped the green screen. We did more shots at the standard background and did more shots accentuating our rings, and when they popped up in the app later, we were pleased. But the press around the studio seems to be very overblown. It is great and useful service that we'll utilize again on future trips, but she was very glad to not have spent the money for such a drop-in thing. The second time we went in, the family behind us had 2 children that just came from the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, a young prince and princess that looked so adorable, and the green screen photographer was having a ball with them. That is the target audience of the location, but anyone with a photo pass should take the 10 minutes to get a nice picture or two. Matt and Mary Rose. So, Rikki, what do you think about that? Because we kind of talked about it. We didn't have, a whole lot of experience. I mean, I think this is a great informational piece for folks that are considering it. And if you have photo pass, what do you have to lose?
Absolutely. And I think that maybe, like he was saying, some articles may have been overblown about like how it works. But yeah, that was my experience too. Basically, it was like maybe 10 minutes, a couple of quick shots, and then it was kind of over. So if you really want like something like Christmas cards or something along those lines that you're really looking to get, you might want to consider the fine portraits that Disney offers. Now it's going to cost you a little bit of money for those. Those aren't free because they're not done by PhotoPass photographers. They're done by different photographers. But if you're really looking for something that up the ante and have something a little bit nicer, then I would spend the money on that. But if you're just looking for something kind of fun and like you said, something you can drop into, I would absolutely go into the PhotoPass studio. It's like I said, it's just something that's an added bonus, I think, to being in Disney Springs.
I think they were looking for something very, they're looking for the Christmas card because it was a honeymoon, and that kind of thing. But I think, so here's what I think though. I think your average guest, and this is me totally, like I always want that magic shot. Like, sometimes you roll the dice on Main Street or in the hub or, wherever you are, in the studio somewhere, like, you're like, come on, man, like make me open my hand and look at it. Like, I don't ever ask for it. I'm not that kind of person. I just don't. Like, I'm just kind of that. I'm just like, if I get it, I get it. I don't. But like when they're like, dude, look up there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting a magic shot. I mean, Pam, do you think that's kind of a great thing? Because it's almost like a guaranteed like 4 or 5 magic shots later on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like this is something that Disney didn't have to do. Yeah. I'm like, I always think about like that they don't get credit sometimes for some of these little things that they do that really just add magic to people's trips. I mean, there are plenty of people who are buying the memory maker before they even have this because first of all, it's one of the best deals in terms of cost, and then in terms of what you get for your money, the value is there too. But Disney a while back decided, hey, we're going to make this kind of thing experience available to those who have the memory maker, and it's really a cool thing. And the pictures can be pretty good. Yeah. They really can. I mean, that's the thing. The whole thing about vacation pictures is there's typically going to be a bunch of other people in your photos or something else. At least you don't have that. So I really love that aspect to it. But yes, it is magic shot heavy for sure. I mean, you can see them later, and I think just really enjoy the process.
Mm-hmm. I love it because I'm always like wondering what it's going to be. Like I like that. It's like the, like the prize in the cereal box when you're a kid.
Oh yeah, it's total crapshoot. You have no idea what you're going to get. I mean, like they even, they had no clue, and they just went in and got it done, and then saw them later on their phone. So.
That's totally my jam. I'm like an 8-year-old boy. That's what Pam always says. Like, because this past weekend where we moved, there's a big air show in St. Charles. Like, well, it's actually in St. Louis County, but we live right on the border. And so the Blue Angels were flying this weekend at this air show. And so they got in on Thursday. So Thursday, the show is Saturday and Sunday, but they practiced on Thursday and Friday. Every time a jet would fly, you could hear them because they're so loud. They're flying right over our house. I'm running out to the deck, pictures. I'm like, I know, I love the Blue Angels. They're so awesome. It's like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway. All right, Molly's got a question here in the live chat. We appreciate her being there with us. It says, going in April with 2 adults and 4 kids. One is a 2-year-old. Suite at Art of Animation is $1,400 more than connecting rooms at movies. Is it worth it? So $1,400 more for a suite, 2 bathrooms, but they're also getting 2 bathrooms at connecting rooms at movies. One's a 2-year-old, 2 adults, 4 kids. Rikki, what say you? What would you do?
I'm going to save the money. I'm going to get the 2 rooms. Yeah, I'm cheap. I'm cheap. I'm going to save the money. Yeah. I'm going to get
Pam, what about you? What are the pros and cons?
So the pros of staying at the family suite as opposed to 2 rooms are that you have sort of this kitchenette area. And the kitchenette area has a microwave. It does have a refrigerator, and it has like a little sink area. So there's potential there for money savings depending on the kind of food that you may have or whatnot. But I think the other thing that I really sort of like about the Art of Animation Suites is, first of all, you're all in one room. And that doesn't mean you don't have a separate sleeping space to go to, but it is all enclosed in one room. And there's something a little different about that, I think, than the two rooms and, requesting the connecting things. So that I enjoy. And the other thing I really enjoy about Art of Animation is the location. The fact that you're going to be able to walk over after September 29th to Pop Century and get the gondola to 2 different parks, I think is huge. I think the fact that you have the availability of Art of Animation and Pop Century, which arguably have the 2 best food courts on Disney property, is a plus too. So it really depends on what is important to you, but $1,400 is a lot of money to save too. I mean, I totally feel that way too. So, I mean, I gave you the pros and cons. I'm not sure what I would do. I really wouldn't, and I think it would really depend on, at the time what happened, and check to see when discounts come out. Is that savings still going to be as large as it is? Because I do feel like the Art of Animation experience is maybe an upgraded experience in terms of that, but see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely an upgraded experience, I would say. The theming in those suites is incredible. I think everybody raves about that. Michael Schilling in the live chat brings up a good point. With the kitchenette in the suite, you could save money by, preparing a light breakfast and not having to go out and spend, 6 people. You're going to spend a couple $100 maybe on breakfast.
Right
there, you can make your savings back almost. So
it's true. It is true. Like, breakfast adds up. I think people don't remember that. I don't know. So we'll talk about that more on Friday because we used our dining plan sort of creatively, but
all right. Yay.
All righty. Next question's from Abigail. She's from Chicago. She's a Cubs fan. Cardinals currently 4.5 games ahead of the Cubs. Thank you very much. Hey, BOGP crew, my mom and I are going to, now they won't win a game the rest of September.
Yeah, way to go, Mike.
My mom and I are going to Disney World in February for the Princess Half Marathon. The day before the race, we're going to pick up our packets. I'm wondering what else we can do that day that's relaxing. We've been to the parks a lot over the years, so we're planning to take it easy before the big race. We're staying at Coronado. Thank you guys for all you do. P.S. I can't even say what she said. P.S. is go something go. And I'm not
Got it. I understand. Yes.
Hope you guys make the wild card. Just kidding. Anyway, so now really curse the Cardinals. Mike Schilt's going to be emailing me immediately, the manager. So first of all, you're staying at Coronado. I would have a just chill day at Coronado after going to pick up your stuff. I mean, you're paying for that hotel. You got a great pool, great. Go to maybe 3 Bridges, chill out, drink. Not drink a lot, just have a drink and some apps. I saw that they had some. I saw like a thing on Twitter today, like sweet and savory churros or something.
Oh, yum.
Dude, I was like, oh my God, I need those in my belly right now. But I mean, it looks like they have great, kind of apps and just finger foods. Beautiful place to be. You don't want to swim a whole lot before the race. Sit in the hot tub, just chill in the pool, whatever. It's all February could be beautiful. But I try not to do too much. I try to keep my legs semi-fresh. I say that I go to the parks myself, but I wouldn't recommend it. So Rikki, what would you do if this, the day you get your bibs? Also, here's another tip. And I have a hard time sticking to this tip myself. I want to get over there as soon as it opens to get my bib. I feel like they're going to run out. And if you don't want to buy stuff, totally, you don't need to be there when it opens. If you want to buy merch, sometimes you got to be there when it opens. It runs out. But if you can go like in the last hour or 2 of the day to pick up your packet, nobody's there. It's awesome. You go in, you grab it, you're out like quick. And I've learned to do that if I don't want to buy like special shirts or pins or whatever. But so I do it at the end of the day if you can. But otherwise, I would just chill at the resort. So Rikki, what do you say?
I was gonna say enjoy Coronado, like you were gonna say. I think Coronado is so fantastic now, especially with Grand Destino. You've got Slato at the top there. You could enjoy a nice meal. I think that would be really good. And I say enjoy that resort because it's so fantastic. It's simply gorgeous. If you wanted to go out and do something, maybe you could. I mean, don't like run all around it, but maybe head to Disney Springs or something like that to do, just do a little light shopping or, grab a bite or whatever there too. Just try to stay off your feet as much as possible. But I know that's incredibly difficult. But like I said, don't go like from one end of Disney Springs to the other. That's not probably most conducive for you. But
I do like the idea of Disney Springs because what's worse on your legs as a runner than
it's not
walking around hard? It's standing.
That's
lines will lock you up worse than walking all day. I've learned that it hurts my back, it hurts my legs. If I'm standing still for a long time on the pavement,
that's true.
I'm done. Like I'm toast. Yeah. But if I'm walking, it's not too bad. So I like the idea of Disney Springs.
Okay, good. Hooray.
I think it is too. So many runners will tell you do want to keep loose that day. You don't want to whatever, but I absolutely feel like some time in the pool, like that's you're moving around. You're actually getting, moving your muscles around in a space that actually is not as hard on your muscles and things like that, but still gives them the workout. So that's a great thing too. But yeah, I love the idea of Disney Springs too. I like the idea of relaxing, that it just is something that people don't take enough advantage of, especially after a day of traveling. We travel all the time. My family travels all the time. We don't just travel here. We'll travel over to Europe. I swear, whether you are on a flight for an hour or 10 hours, it's still an exhausting process. You're dragging suitcases, you have bags, you're eating weird stuff. It's just off of that. And you always just feel some kind of tired. So that's always a good idea.
And Scott Wortman in the live chat says, Mike, please take my Tennessee Vols season tickets, please. No, thanks. I wouldn't want to touch those right now. But I will say I want to get one of those shirts. I know it's a UT shirt, but I want to get one of those that was specially designed by that child who got bullied, and then the Vols made it an official.
I saw that.
University. I'm behind that 100%. I think that is the coolest. So well done, Vols. And we're going to beat you in Columbia later this year. All right, last question of the day. I've talked some smack on the Cubs and the Vols.
Yeah, today. You're just really doing a good job of alienating our listeners. Yeah, good job, Mike.
Just kidding. No, the Vols fans. I don't think there's many of them left.
Oh, wow.
If you're a Vols fan, they've had 2 real rough losses, but you know what? They're going to come back this week. I think they play Chattanooga. Anyway, Rachel's got the last question today. Hi, Mike, Pam, and Rikki. Hope y'all are doing well. My boyfriend and I have a trip planned in January of 2020. We're staying at Coronado for 8 nights and have a 7-day park hopper ticket. I noticed Disney After Hours is the last night of our trip at the Magic Kingdom. I've never been to one of these events before, but have heard wonderful things about them. Question is it worth spending the money on 2 tickets for the experience? We do have 3 full days at the Magic Kingdom already planned. We are also going at a time when crowds are historically lower, but I'm worried Star Wars might impact this. Just looking for some additional opinions, as I do think it would be awesome to see the Magic Kingdom close to deserted. Thank you all in advance for your help and all you guys do, Rachel. And let me just amend this because I didn't realize this when I picked this email to read. I did purchase those tickets for Rachel today. She's one of my guests, so she is going. So she decided on her own before the question got read. She does want to go to the Magic Kingdom. So Pam, talk to her about what these events can offer her, and Rikki can chime in too.
Yeah, I think one of the things that is most appealing about these events, is it really is a feeling of sort of an exclusive kind of event, that not everyone does these things. Not everyone takes advantage of them. Disney sort of goes out of their way to make things feel special and give you opportunities. There's often really cool, just things to do and see, in addition to the fact that you're going to be waiting in smaller lines for a lot of the attractions and eating lots of snacks on Disney's dime. I mean, I think there are people out there who have made it their mission to sort of get their money's worth of snacks. And I think that some of them do it, I will say, but go and enjoy. I know you'll like it.
Yeah, Scott, when he goes, man, he's always sending me pictures like, dude, there's nobody around. And he's got like a Mickey bar in one hand,
right?
Popcorn in the other. I'm like, dude, it is midnight. You can't eat Mickey bars and popcorn. You're going to be dead. But he's like having the time. He is living his best Magic Kingdom life.
That's right.
And I know Mark Yerkes goes to him all the time too. All right, Rikki. So what else? I mean, she's going to have a good time. I mean, it's exactly what she's looking for, that VIP experience.
Absolutely. It is 100% a VIP experience. And I think the Magic Kingdom is the park that you want to do this at. I know that they, have it at Animal Kingdom. And it's fine there, but I don't think it has maybe the same oomph that it does at the Magic Kingdom, just because the Magic Kingdom, there's so many attractions that are open. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really get a ton of bang for your buck there. And right now they don't have it at Disney's Hollywood Studios, thanks to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So they're trying to probably figure out, how the crowds are going and things like that. And then they'll definitely, I am certain, will add that back in, both for the morning ones as well as for the evening ones. The morning ones are going to have to wait until they're done with all the early extra magic hours, which ends in November. So I think once they end those, they'll figure out, hey, we want to start adding the morning ones back to the mix. But I think they'll be adding the evening ones back too. So it'll just take some time. But I mean, again, I think it's a great idea if you're especially like looking for that VIP, not totally empty park, but a mostly empty park experience. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We are going to get out of here. That's the last question of today. Thank you so much for the question. You can send those into Mike@BRGuestPodcast.com. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News Disney Edition. It's a free iOS app that keeps you up to date with all the news in one place, in one app. And I'll tell you, one of the stories I read about is in relation to Club Cool. And now we know that Club Cool did close a couple days ago. And breaking news here. It's been turned into a Spirit Halloween store for the Halloween.
Awful.
I saw the picture. It's temporary. It's going to go away in November, but just for now, you can buy cheap Halloween costumes and fog machines.
Don't do that to people. Don't do that to people, Mike Robin.
What are we really reading on the
Not that. Okay, so if you are ready for the brand new It color, it is officially here. Yes, Arendelle Aqua is available for guests to purchase. Of course, Frozen comes out later this year, so Disney wants to tie in this color with the fact that Frozen is coming out. So you can pick up things like Minnie Mouse ear headbands, Spirit jerseys, Loungefly backpacks, limited release pins, tumblers, just so much stuff that is this Arendelle Aqua color. So if you are in on all these trends, and apparently like a ton of people are, because sometimes I just don't get, like, when I share a story on like the Mouse for Less is social, and I'm just like, yeah, this will be fine. And then like I share it and it blows up. Yeah, that was the Arendelle Aqua thing. I was like, whoa, this guy.
This is a color. It's like the Millennium Pink or the rose gold.
Yeah. Yes. So this is the new It color. So yeah, I never really know what's gonna go with it. Yes, it's kind of that color. Yes. So get your teal aqua Arendelle today.
So it's like New Mexico turquoise.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it sort of is. It's a light.
It's a little lighter than like turquoise. Yeah.
This is why you need the app, and you need to get on your Apple device with a retina display so you can see the exact hue of this new color. Now grab the app. It's an awesome app, free for all Apple devices over at virtualmickey.com. Don't forget, we've got a great Amazon affiliate link. It really does help support the show. Anytime you shop online, please use the link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. We've got a great presence on social media. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at @BeOurGuestPod and at @BeOurGuestMike. And of course, Facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. Don't forget, we're going to be at the Indy Disney Meet September 21st at the Hamilton County Fairgrounds.
And if you want to, like, I think there's still time. So if you want to, like, show your Be Our Guest love, we do have t-shirts available at TeePublic. So you can go get one of those, and that way you can show everybody that you love the podcast. So.
That'd be awesome. Yes. Yeah. There's going to be lots of selfies, so come by. We're also going to be recording a show for the feed to go out for 1 hour from the table where we're going to be at in the fairgrounds there. And what's going to happen is we'll tell you the time as soon as we kind of figure out the schedule, but we're going to do a 1 hour show. It's going to be Pam, Rikki, and I all together in a fourth open mic, and you get 5 minutes. You can come on the show. You can ask one question or have one Disney hot take.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it quickly. Then we'll go to the next person. We'll be live on Facebook during the show as well. So we're going to do that from the Indy Disney Meet. So be there. We'll also be on the live stage at the end of the event. So it's going to be fun too. All right. So we're going to get out of here. We'll be back again on Friday. Pam's going to talk about the Galaxy's Edge media event that she attended. and all the other good stuff. Yeah, she said she wants to talk about the dining plan, which I'm hungry, so I'm here.
I know we're all hungry.
Too.
Right. All right, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back again on Friday. So for Pam and Rikki, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. Eric's coming up with some pretty sweet colors in the show.
I like Rikki Rouge.
That's so funny.
Be our guest beige.
The VRS beige doesn't sound so appealing, but you know, the
No,
other
beige is like bleh.
Truth.
How about be our guest Bondi blue, like the old Macs?
oh my gosh.
I love those old Skittle Macs. I think I'm going to buy one. You remember those clamshell Macs that had like the colors and they were laptops with a handle on the back? You might not. We had those at school. They were so awesome looking. They were so sweet.
Sorry.
I got a frog in my throat. Hang on.
Mike Maroon 5. Mike is dying. He literally is dying.
Hang on, real quick. I get another Coke Zero. I got my mini fridge right behind me. Hang on.
Oh my goodness. What is this? He can't even survive. Look at him like hobble away like an old man. Jeez. He can't even hear us. And he's like walking away like an old man. God. Anyway. There's that. Was that him or was that you?
It wasn't me.
Oh, okay. That's good. I think he locked up back there.
He probably did lock up. That will be his thing. He locked up.
I thought I heard yelling, so. Oh, Pam Periwinkle. I like that color.
Periwinkle.
Oh, that's kind of a bluish color.
Yeah, it's like bluish purplish.
Yeah, that's nice. This is why you watch the live feed. Absolutely. He can't. I'm going to wait till he gets on. Yep. Come on back, Mike. No, put the arrow. You watch Mike hobble away like an old man. That's fine.
My right knee is like hurting. So,
yes. Yeah, you look like it. You were just like, ooh.
20 miles today. What's up?
I sat on my chair today.
Mike Mizzougold, M-I-Z. Okay, here we go. So we'll talk about Pam's trip. All right. And
yes.
Stop
1537.
that.
Yeah, for real.
I know.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1537 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and the senior agent of fun over at the Magic for Less. Because you know what? When you book a trip with me, you're going to have fun. Whether you're going on a cruise, going down to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, even Adventures by Disney, maybe Costa Rica, maybe Central America, maybe you're going over to Europe, maybe you're just going to Wyoming. I promise you're going to have fun. So I'm calling Pam. I'm changing my title. I'm the senior agent of fun.
I see. Senior agent of fun.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Could I be the CEO of fun?
That's of course. Yeah, absolutely. It has to be that way. So anyway, we're gonna have some fun today talking about Pam's recent trip. She was down, got to do some very, very cool stuff, and she's going to share some tips that hopefully will make your next Walt Disney World vacation even better. So joining me today, she keeps you up to date with everything happening down at Walt Disney World each and every day. I see her on those little videos on the website that has like the hand, and then it's Rikki. You know, it's like a hand drawn like a little monitor, the mouse for less, and then boom, Rikki's on the screen. Rikki from the Disney World Afterall.com, touringplans.com, and the mouse for less. What's going on, Rikki?
Well, you know what? Disney just keeps announcing more and more things every single day. So I figured I might as well do the mouse bites every single day because there's something to talk about every day. And they were getting too long when I was doing it in one full swoop. So it's like, I'm just going to break these up into daily ones. So that's, you know, as long as there's news, I'm going to report on it daily. So that's my goal. Did
Disney officially put out that the Spirit Halloween store is going in?
The Halloween store does not actually exist, Mike. You're fine. No Spirit.
Chat room says it might be a Taco Bell.
It could be a
Taco Bell. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Of course, that's owned by Pepsi, and Club Cool was Coke, so I doubt that's
true.
That'd be bad. All right, also joining us, we have the coder, the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm so glad I get to talk about my last trip. And before we launch into that, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, when I was staying there at Grand Destino, we ate at Toledo's. And I got to meet listeners Emily and Alex, who happened to be sitting next to us. And I know, right? And they recognized my voice. And then, of course, my laugh. Yeah.
I know that
exactly.
laugh.
Yeah, they did. And we got to chat with them for a while. They were going into Galaxy's Edge the next morning. So I hope that worked out well for you all. They were asking what they thought my best advice on strategy would be. And it's so hard to do that even now, because it's changing, everything's changing and whatnot, but I'm sure they went in there and had a great time. So I'm so, I was so excited for them and to have the chance to meet them. And we did take a picture. We should have taken a picture, but anyways, we didn't. I'm horrible at that. So it was nice. Got to meet them. And then the other thing I want to bring up again is the Indie Disney Meet, because the Magic for Less Travel is going to be running a contest during the Indie Disney Meet, and you're going to get a postcard when you go to the Indie Disney Meet that has all these specifics on it, but we're going to have a big banner there that has our logo on it. And if you take your picture, a selfie with the banner in the back, and tag Indie Disney and the Magic for Less Travel, right? Yes, Mike's a selfie expert.
Yeah.
And post
Yeah.
right during that time, then we will be picking a random drawing winner to get $100 gift card. Well, actually, it'll be there's a $50 Disney gift cards. Then there's other Disney gift cards, and then there's Magic for Less Travel gift cards too. Which means if you book your Disney vacation, by the time you can combine the Disney gift card and the Magic for Less Travel gift card, and really get something off of there. So, anyways, it's going to be awesome. So come and join us. Make sure you get a postcard or stop by the booth. We'll tell you how it all works, but looking forward to that.
And yell at me, because I want to be in the selfie with you. That increases your chances to win, right?
I don't know that you're going to get to do that.
Yeah, it's true. Probably not. We are going to be recording a live show too, so make sure you're there. You get 5 minutes with us. We're going to have first come, first serve for an hour, and you get one question or one Disney hot take, and we'll talk about it.
No, don't do the hot take, because then we have to hear Mike.
No,
do the hot
take. We do questions every week. Forget if you want to ask a question, you can, but go with the hot take.
No, don't go with No, ask a question. Yeah.
And also, Jessica said she just listened to the Boardwalk live show. She said,
"Oh my goodness gracious,
that
was a little embarrassing, Jessica. I'm glad it was entertaining, though.
It was definitely, I'm sure, entertaining.
I think we should do more shows with drinks.
We weren't drinking; the audience was.
There are podcasts.
I absolutely had a drink before that show.
There are podcasts that live off of having drinks before starting their show, or during their show. So it's not like it's.
I'm so much funnier after a drink. I'm so much more entertaining, at least to myself. I am. So, anyway.
All right, we'll have one, because this show's all about you, Pam, because you got to do some cool stuff. So
that's not what's in her cup right now.
Shoot, I forgot. I didn't realize I should have. No, just water.
Anyway, tell us, you went down originally, like the goal of the trip, the purpose of the trip was the media event for the Galaxy's Edge opening at Walt Disney World at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So talk to us about what you learned and what that experience is like.
So it really was, I waited. I didn't do any of the previews because I knew I was going to go to this event and I really wanted to experience it like that. The great thing about a media event is they sort of had some things like scheduled for you so you can sort of experience them, and make sure you get like sort of the full effect. And I think that that's always one of the bonuses. I really wanted to do it. And I will tell you, it really sort of exceeded my expectations in so many ways. I had been in the land while they were still building it. Now, this was sometime, a while ago, but this really did exceed those expectations. We walked in sort of, and it's hard to even describe how large the land is. And I think that's something that so many people sort of talk about, that is an overwhelming takeaway, right? That they didn't expect the land to be that large. I mean, you see it on paper and whatnot, but it really does in a way that it is challenging to describe. It gives you opportunities to sort of meander through and be surprised and find little hidden things there, because there really is that opportunity. So I think, that's one of the things too. So we did get to experience it during the day and night, of course, experience the attraction, eat the food, do all of that. So, I kind of did it all. And we went back too afterwards. Steve and I went back after the land was officially open too and spent some time in there as well. So we sort of did a great big combination of everything there at Galaxy's Edge, and it was all very cool.
Pam, what was one of the things that really stood out? Because obviously I've been in the land too. So what was one of the things that really stood out to you that you found to be the most unique about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge?
So I think one of the things, my best piece of advice for people is you're going to want to be there during the day and you're going to want to be there at night. You're going to want to do both. And I know that makes it really challenging. But I think you can see things during the day and sort of get the scope of things, sort of wrap your arms around it. And I think that's really important because there's really cool things to see during the day. But the lighting and the effects that they have in that land make it totally worth going back at night. And you're going to want to see that too. So even if you don't ride the attraction both times, depending on how that line situation is as we move forward, and the land, of course, has more people into it, I would still make the chance to go there both times and do it. And we say that about a few different lands. Like, I think Avatar is a great example that you want to do that in the day and at night. I think that there are other parts of Hollywood Studios that make it worth going at night too. But this is really something you're going to want to see both times.
So you mentioned dining. You got to taste some of the things.
Yes.
In Batuu. So what's something not to be missed? And also not only dining, but, we'll talk Smuggler's Run briefly, but just maybe something that the folks going into the land might not be considering, because they haven't heard a lot about it. Maybe a surprise, but talk about those two things.
Well, so we ate food from all the different locations, and one of them was Docking Bay 7. And the two things that we tried, and they were good enough that when Steve and I went back, I had him try them too. They were the braised shack roast that came with the pasta. And then also was the, I know this is going to be interesting. It was the little meatballs that were
the meatless. Yes.
And they were really, really good.
Really?
Yeah, it really was. So we tried both of those, and I really would recommend them both. I thought that they were really good. The base that's underneath them is good. And it's something that I would recommend. The desserts were interesting. I'm not a huge dessert party, so it's all sort of lost on me, the whole thing. But they have a Batuu Bon, which is a chocolate cake. It has sort of a coffee custard, and then an Oi Oi Puff, which is raspberry cream puff, and passion fruit mousse, which is that. But again, good choices. And they have options for kids too. All of them, the little, the entrees that they have, all of course have interesting names, but they're all things that when you read the description that you'll enjoy, eating. You'll get a little more information there from that. They also have, you can use your dining plan now in Star Wars since it opened, and that it is a great use of some of the dining plan credits when you really think about using a quick service there, because for adults, not only do you get the entrees, which the shack roast that comes with, the pasta is like a $19 meal. That's a $19 meal. That's before tax. And then you can get a drink. And for those of you on the dining plan, again, you can use those for specialty beverages that are non-alcoholic or alcoholic beverages. And they also have some beer and stuff there. But they have different specialty beverages that are exclusive to Star Wars Land too. They have, a tea, Batuu Bacha tea, and moof juice, and, those kind of things. So think about that too. When you're thinking about where you want to use your quick service credits, you're absolutely going to be able to use them here. And they're really a good use of those quick service credits.
So let me ask you one other thing too. And William's got a great question, which I want to address. I want to kind of like a strategy, just theoretical, like how you're going to tour the studios now kind of question. But when you were gone, Pam, I was talking to Rikki, and I booked my flights to go down at the end of September. Got them with my frequent flyer miles. Who'd have thought I could ever say that 5 years ago? But I have enough to do Marathon Weekend on frequent flyer miles too. So I'm like pumped. So my flight's going to be about $200. So I'm thinking about doing the lightsaber thing, but I just don't know how that's going to go over when I come home with a $200 lightsaber and I got to go to Walt Disney World and everybody else around the house had to work and go to school. But that's outside the thing. I don't know if you did that. What do you think about that experience? Like, it's so expensive, but I mean, it's such a it's not the product, it's the experience you're having, but it's pretty quick. I mean, what about those kind of things in Batuu? Like, talk about those, address those. Like, I mean, I know they're expensive. Are they worth it? I mean, what's the audience? What do you think?
So I did not do the lightsaber. And the reason why is, honestly, it is not something that I would have at home. I just would. It's not something that I would. And so it wasn't something that was on my radar to do. I absolutely understand and appreciate why people do it. That and the droid thing, they both look like a very cool experience. And I think that's something that you have to consider when doing it. First of all, it's not just that you're going and buying a lightsaber. It's that you're customizing it. You're making choices, and it is the experience of doing it. I mean, that in itself is very cool. I love that Disney thought about this when doing this, that you're not just going to go and pick out a lightsaber from the shelf and do it. And I know, so I saw so many people coming out of there. And when you do the lightsaber, they actually give you this cool case sort of put it in too. And they were so happy doing it, really and truly. And there were other people who were like, "Oh my gosh, you did the lightsaber. How was it?" And they would be like, "It was so cool." And you know, right.
It was very cool.
You got to do some of this stuff. So I love that they're doing that. But it brings up another really great point. And that is that you do get to sort of walk through this Black Spire marketplace, right? Where there are all these little shops. And some of the shops have sort of like, some of the clothing that you would see some people that live here wear, right? And some of them have pets. You can adopt one of the pets, adopt a Tauntaun or something like that you can take home with you. And one of the little shops is a toy store. And I loved every piece of merchandise in this toy store because it is not a plastic Disney product.
Right.
It looks like it's this handcrafted thing, like it was handcrafted in Batuu, really, or woven or carved out of wood. It was actually, they have this, the sand guys, that little vehicle that they were in. Well, they had a wooden version of that. And when you open it up, there's two little sand people inside of it. It was the coolest thing. And I kept thinking to myself, oh man, I really want to get this, right? Because the sand people was such an essential part of the first Star Wars. They were, I remember being frightened. Yes, totally scared of them. Yes, right. And the whole thing. So that was really, really cool. They had these little Jawas inside. I mean, it was all just a very cool thing. So lots of stuff to really look at. And that's the kind of toys you're going to be able to take away, or a puzzle that you might find in Batuu, or, something like that. All the little stuffed characters that they had in that store looked like they had been crocheted by someone. I mean, it's just really cool merchandise, and it's hard to wrap your head around it. Give yourself some time to look and go back and then look again, because I think it's not your typical Disney merchandise. It's so much more.
Disney said we need something for the 45-year-olds who grew up with the original trilogy.
It's true.
We're going to hit them with the feels.
It's true.
Jawas.
It's definitely true. And I haven't even talked about the attraction yet.
I know. Real quick before we get to the attraction, I just want to ask Rikki, this is like a quick theoretical thing. So William has a good question. He says, with everyone heading to Galaxy's Edge, does it make sense to go to Toy Story Land, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Tower first, and then head back to Galaxy's Edge once the lines go down? So philosophically, what do you think moving forward in the next few months? What's the touring strategy here?
I think that might be a great strategy. Let everybody head over to Galaxy's Edge first and then go do some of the other things like, Slinky Dog Dash or Rock and Roller Coaster. And then, head into the land at midday and get into the early evening. And that way you get to see it, like Pam said, both, in the daylight as well as in the evening. So you get the biggest bang for your buck in Galaxy's Edge that way. And I think that's probably a really good plan actually right now. Yeah.
Any other thoughts, Pam, on that, on William's question here?
No, I think that's a great strategy. It just really is. You're going to want to go during a time when you can, possibly see it. Of course, that's called, like, if you're going in before sunset, right before sunset is the magic hours in terms of photography.
Yep.
It makes some great opportunities. And then, of course, you'll be there when the lights come on, and that makes it really cool too. So, love that idea.
All right, talk to us about Smuggler's Run, because we got a lot
right.
if we want to get in besides Galaxy's Edge. But,
I'm going to, but what I do want to mention one other food item, and that is the Ronto wrap that is at a quick service location. It's really just sort of a small area where you can get just that and some specialty beverages and whatever. But I was really surprised. The Ronto wrap was pretty good. So give that one a try. And I've heard that from a lot of different people. So try that one. All right, let's talk about the attraction. First of all, the queue. Boom. Awesome. There's so many things that Star Wars fans are going to like. And that's why when I thought about, waiting in line, going back to it and waiting in line, I actually didn't even mind because I wanted to go through and see that queue again. There's a lot to see and do. There's just so many things that it's hard, again, to wrap your head around. So I was really good to have the opportunity. When else are you going to get your picture taken in the Millennium Falcon, right? I mean, they have that, the chess table there for you to have your picture taken. That was so famous. So glad to see it. The actual attraction itself, I thought was very cool. It's way longer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Really and truly it was. And I was a little concerned going into it because I do get motion sickness. I've talked about this a few times. I was worried. Flight of Passage, I seem to do well on it because there's air blown on my face the whole time. Star Tours, oh my gosh. Every time I do it, I'm like, why am I here? So, that whole thing. But I did well on Smuggler's Run. I would do it again. I couldn't do it one right after the other, but I could do it and I could wait a while and go back again. There is some of that motion to it, but for me, it's not really a jerky ride at all, although you do get shooken up a little bit depending on how good your pilot is. So
I've heard that from everybody. Like, you need a good pilot.
It's true. What you do really impacts your ride, your attraction. And I've seen a lot of people say, they really enjoyed it more when they were in the pilot seat. I get that. I understand it. But having done it, I find each one gives you different opportunities. It was really fun, actually, to kind of sit in the back as the engineer to sort of have an overview of everything, too. You still have absolutely things you have to do. You have to press buttons and listen to what's going on and experience that. But it was cool to see that from back at that part, too. Or to be one of the gunners. Like, you have things that you have to do. Now, of course, everyone wants to take you to warp speed, right? I mean, hello.
You gotta go light speed.
Light speed, warp speed, yes.
Oh man, I can't wait.
I know, right? So the whole thing, but absolutely, I think that each of them offers its own sort of experience. So give it a try. See what you think. I keep anticipating that at some point we'll get to a point where there will be fast pass here. Who knows? I don't know. There still is a single riders line at this point. So that's a good thing. Take advantage of that so you can ride it more than once, but go and just enjoy, like, soak it up because it's worth it.
I need that shirt for this upcoming trip. Single rider waiting for my party of 3.
Well, you definitely could have gotten that one. I'm just saying they had it at the outlets. So there you go.
I'm just saying, single rider right here, Busta. When I go down at the end of September, woohoo! I get everything. I can't wait.
That's too funny.
All right, so walk us through some of the other stuff you did outside of Galaxy's Edge.
So, like I mentioned before, I stayed at Grand Destino again. This is the second time I've stayed here since it opened, and I still really love it. First of all, I have to say this. There are many resorts that smell good. This is one of them.
Okay,
you
good.
walk into the lobby, and it has a really great smell. I just like the way it is. So, different resorts, Disney sort of pumps those smells in to make things smell good. And it does here. It didn't disappoint. It really, truly did not disappoint. So I love that. Love the rooms in the tower. I think that these rooms are really thoughtfully done. It feels more like a deluxe. There are great views on either side, whether you're overlooking the resort, side where you'll see the water and you can see Ever sometimes or Magic Kingdom sometimes. Or on the other side, you're going to have views of Galaxy's Edge, which are really, really cool. So the tower is totally worth going to. Make sure you stop there. You can eat at Barcelona is the lounge that's in the lower part of the lobby. That's open for breakfast and then snacks and stuff throughout the day. Also, it's a good place to get coffee in the morning or drinks in the evening. We've eaten there a few times, or not eaten there. We've had drinks there a couple times. Really good. Dahlia's is the lounge that is up on the 16th floor. And you can, again, have great views from there. And then Toledo's is the restaurant. And we've eaten there twice, too. So have had good experiences at all of that. I really recommend checking out Gran Destino. It's great. I think it's a great addition to the portfolio of resorts. And I can't recommend it enough.
So we have a question in the chat, and we're not really doing listener questions today, but I think it's a good point. Because you mentioned Galaxy's Edge and Coronado. Two hot things. We got so many great things coming online this summer. Like we'll have a lot happening at Epcot with Ratatouille, things like that. But Angel's asking kind of in that interim, like February. Now, I think it also depends around, like for February, obviously crowd patterns, like around President's Day weekend, it's going to be a nut house. It usually is. You also have Princess Half Marathon weekend, like third weekend or second weekend. I can't remember exactly. Maybe it's the last weekend of February. We've also gotten the dates for Festival of the Arts, which brings up the crowds a little bit. But Pam, or let me ask Rikki. Rikki, looking into your crystal ball, what do you think like Galaxy's Edge crowds are going to be, after the beginning of 2020, before summer hits? I mean, they're not as crazy as we were expecting a year ago. It's very much more accessible. I mean, what do we think? I mean, is it going to pick up in the coming months? I mean, is it going to become a nut house, or is this just how it's going to be? What do you think?
I think we'll know more once the Rise of the Resistance attraction comes online. I think, and we get past the holidays and things like that. I think we'll have a better handle on how things are going to be. But from what it's looking like it might be real smooth, easy going, which, is great because we did think it was going to be a nut house for, so many years.
Saying like, I'll get to see it in 3 years. I don't think
exactly. I don't know that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Which is good. I'm happy that it worked out that way, to be honest. So
I mean, it's going to make people happier. It's going to bring the guest experience up because,
Absolutely.
It's like the worst thing is if you go down there for a week and you can't get in, or you got to go at 6 a.m. the only time you can get in. That's rough.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And what are your thoughts on this?
It's really going to be challenging to narrow down what it's going to look like. I think the one thing we can take away from this is that Disney has a plan for crowd control. And they implemented it. We have the waiting groups there, the groups that you can get into if need be. And I think that that's a really good solution to that. I really, truly do. And I think that's the thing. I wish that Disney would have released that information maybe a little prior to it opening. And I think that more people would have been inclined to be there during the first month of the opening. I think a lot of people were afraid.
That was the thing that I was most surprised about, was that they didn't announce, and really they didn't even announce it. It was just, they showed up on, like you took a picture and sent it to me and I'm like, oh, hey, they're doing this, they're doing the boarding pass thing. Like they never actually announced that they were doing the boarding pass thing. And that part floored me because they announced it for, Disneyland. And I was just like, oh, for sure they'll announce it. And then like the week came up and we're like, nope. And then the day came, the day before came up and I'm like, nope, they haven't announced it. So that was the part that kind of baffled me, was like, I was really surprised they did not do anything announcing how this is how the process is going to go, even up until the night before.
Right.
So.
And it might have just been that they weren't quite ready for it,
Maybe.
or they weren't sure they needed it or whatnot. But either way, I think what you have to just do is trust the process that Disney has things worked out. I mean, they really, truly do. And I think go with it. I mean, if I'm a Star Wars fan, I'm making plans to go there. I may be making plans to go there sooner rather than later. Like I may be making plans to go there before the end of this year to experience some of these things, because we've seen what the crowds are like right now. And I think it's a great opportunity to go there. If you were ever looking for an excuse, this could be it. The way that it's gone, lately could be an excuse to go there. And I don't need that many excuses, so I'll take whichever one I can get. So if I wanted to go there, you could still make plans to be there and see the gondolas, the last illuminations, and Galaxy's Edge. I mean, that's still a possibility. So.
Well, see, that's what I'm doing. That's why I held off on the AP previews, because I wanted to I knew there were a lot of events happening into this month, and I wanted to be there for the last illuminations. It's my favorite nighttime spectacular. Wanted to see Epcot forever, wanted to ride the gondolas when they opened, and it sounds like I'm going to get the Star Wars experience. That's kind of a bonus. I'm only going to be there for 3 days, but if I get to walk around the land, do Smuggler's Run once this trip, that'll be fine. I'll get the experience. Right. So I'm kind of glad I waited. I rolled the dice, and we'll see how it works. But I also think that weekend's going to be insanely crazy, because a lot of folks are going to do what I do, especially hardcore Disney fans that want to see the last illuminations. And it's a great weekend to be there. I think it's going to be a very, very busy weekend, I'm guessing.
It is. Yeah, agreed. But there's lots of opportunities for that. So,
all right. So walk us through some of the other stuff you got to do.
So some of the other things that I did this time were that I took advantage of the Disney dining plan, the standard dining plan. That's sort of the mid plan. There's a quick service plan. There's the Disney dining plan, which is the mid plan that includes a table, quick service, 2 snacks per day. And then there's the deluxe plan, which includes 3 meals per day. We chose to do the mid plan, and we sort of looked at our dining and looked at what we wanted to do to sort of maximize that. And I will tell you, we saved a ton of money using the dining plan. We really, truly did. And there's so many opportunities for that. I'm going to go through like some of the people that should be thinking about this. But when you think about the Disney dining plan, there are lots of people who are going to benefit from them. If you have children that are under the age of 10, and I know we've said this on the podcast before, you absolutely have to consider the Disney dining plan. It is, all right, I wrote down some notes. I actually took notes, wrote down some notes on this. But for 2019, the price for the dining plan per night for child 3 to 9, $25.80. And for 2020, it's $30.50. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are many character meals that already exceed this price per child. If you're eating at Akershus or Tusker House or Chef Mickey's, you're bumping, if not surpassing, the price of the dining plan right there. And you still have 2 snacks and a quick service meal in which to, quote, get your values worth during that time. So you really need to consider that. And some people will say, well, my kid doesn't eat that much. Okay, if you go to a character meal and your child is there, they are charged the price that it is to be there, right? So you might as well have the dining plan for that and save some. That's something to really consider. So it is sort of a slam dunk if you have children in that range, and you will be going to some of these meals that are one price for that. So consider that. Again, the character dining, there are lots of opportunities for that. The adult price for the dining plan in 2019 is around $70, $72, I think it is. And the character meals at many different locations are once again bumping up to that. And it's not just the character meals, like Ohana. Ohana is about $60 per adult. And you also, when you have the dining plan, you're able to get a drink on top of that. So by the time you add that up, you're getting what it cost for the dining plan for one meal, and you've only used 1 table service credit. You still have your quick service meal and your 2 snacks for the day, plus the refillable mug. So I think there are so many blogs and other things out there, blogs and videos and bits of advice that really talk about the dining plan, but there's lots of opportunities that really you can save using the dining plan. It makes so much sense. And for people who purchase Disney gift cards and somehow save, like sometimes grocery stores offer discounts, or your warehouse club, or you buy them through Target and do that whole thing, you can use those discounted gift cards to pay for your Disney trip, as long as you're booking with a travel agency that books directly through Disney, like we do. I mean, we process gift cards for payments all the time. So it's sort of like you're getting a discount and then getting a discount on that as well. So consider that. There's no reason why you can't do that. There's just lots of great opportunities for saving using the dining plan. And I just wanted to have people think about that once again. I mean, we clearly made money. I'm going to do a blog on this so we get, the whole thing, but we made a lot of money. We used a lot of our snacks at Food and Wine, which is going on now. That's a great opportunity. We've talked about this. If you're going during any of the Epcot festivals, and there seems to be one every other week, whether it's Food and Wine or Flower and Garden or the Festival of the Arts or Festival of the Holidays or whatever, there's booths set up quite a lot there. Did they take them down anymore? I was wondering that.
Yeah, real quick. It's Diet Epcot for a few minutes.
But that's what it's like. So the snack credits you can use there, and the snacks range from $4 to $9. I mean, we got the $9 lobster roll with one of our snack credits. It was a huge deal. I mean, 2 of those. I just, I think that at one point it was people just decided that they didn't want, the dining plan can't be a good idea because Disney's offering it. But I'm telling you, it really does and can help you save money.
It's like anything else. I mean, if you're using it, what I tell my guests is, there are expensive 1 credit meals, especially like you said, character meals. I mean, you have kids, it's a brainer. As long as you use all of your entitlements, you're going to at least break even, probably going to come out way ahead. And there's also, I'm a huge advocate of when I'm on vacation, I like to have stuff prepaid. Like that's my thing. Like that's why I love cruising. Like I've paid for my trip, my cruise 150 days out. When I go on that cruise, I just get the menu and I get what looks good, but if I'm paying out of pocket, I know it like, even though like, I know I want to get something that's more expensive. I don't, I look at the prices when I'm paying out of pocket and I'll get the chicken instead of the steak. That's just me. But if I'm on the dining plan, I'll get something that I'm in the mood for. And there's something to be said for that on vacation too.
Well, and there's no fights about kids getting the milkshake or the smoothie or the specialty drink because that's included with the dining plan.
I hate that.
And there's no fights on whether mom's going to get the back scratcher at Ohana or not because it's an expensive drink, but it's absolutely included on the dining plan. So just, work the numbers. Don't just take the advice of somebody else. I think if you work the numbers and you'll see, you might find that it would work for you when it might not have in the past. So,
okay. So one last thing, we got about 5 minutes left. We don't have a lot of time, but you mentioned Food and Wine. I'm going to experience it for a couple of days because I'll be there for the last eliminations and the first Epcot Forever. So I'll be in the park. What did you find that I have to have at Food and Wine?
Oh man. And there are some good things that we really enjoyed. So we had there was like a well, first of all, the booth at that's there by America is always good. They're smoking things. You can smell them from far, far, far away. And it's just, I don't even think that's fair. Like you can smell the smoke, like, just from so far away that it's really worth it. It's the hops and barley, the hops and barley booth. And they have this slider. It's beef brisket with horseradish cream and onions on this roll with vegetables on the side. It was really good. We really enjoyed that. That's something I would get again. Of course, the Indian bread with the different dips is always really, really good. There is a dip at the Ireland booth that has bread and like a cheese and beer dip. That's great. But there's some new booths that are here this year that I think are offering some really good stuff. We did not get the opportunity to try them out this time, but there really are. One of them is like a smoky something. Rikki, help me out. What's it called? It's like I forget, but it has sort of a
calling Chef Todd.
Hell yeah, I know.
Flavors from Fire.
No, there's a Alps one. That might be another one you're thinking.
There
of.
is an Alps one too.
And there's a apple one that's in it's where the Canada was. they put in a booth temporarily so that and it's a really cool booth. Like it's themed after like Johnny Appleseed, which I love. Like a way to bring out the old timey like short Disney. Good job, bravo. So that is IP I can get behind.
Right, it's true. Well, that's so the Alps thing. We did try the items that were offered at the Alps menu, and I am one who loves almond anything, and they have a dessert that is a blueberry almond tart that was really, really good. So I loved that, and it was very over the top almondy. So if you like that, try that. But yeah, the flavors from Fire, that looked interesting too. Just lots of good stuff. Let's just face it. I mean, food and wine or any of the Epcot festivals are a great time to be in Epcot. And we'll give the advice that we always give. Be there when it opens. The booths open at 11 o'clock. Be there early to get the lowest, wait times. And you'll enjoy yourself and try new stuff.
So sounds like you had a little bit of fun down there on this.
We did. Yeah, we did. I mean, we squeezed as much as we could into what was a relatively short trip, but yeah, lots of great things to see. And that's another, I think, great opportunity to take during the fall, especially, because Food and Wine is extended this year. You get to have the chance to see the Skyliners and see maybe Illuminations for the last time and see Galaxy's Edge and do Food and Wine.
And these kids get Mallory gets, because we moved to this new school district, she gets a fall break and it's 6 days. Like she gets a Friday and then the whole next week in October.
That's awesome.
That is crazy. Like, so
you have the kids scheduled now.
Down. Yeah,
plan something.
That'd be fun. It's a great time to go. All right. Well, Pam, thanks so much for the advice on Galaxy's Edge, Batuu, and dining time and, Food and Wine. I can't wait to get down there here in a few weeks.
I know. It's great. You'll have a great time.
All right. Don't forget today's show brought to you by our great friends over at the Magic for Less Travel. When you're headed for your next Disney destination, work with the best, work with the Magic for Less. And like Pam said, you don't have to wait till 2020. There's a lot happening, especially at Epcot starting like summer of 2020, but there's a lot of great stuff happening right now. Festivals, Batuu, just going over to an after hours event over at the Magic Kingdom. Just Halloween parties, Christmas parties, so much happening. So don't write off 2019 quite yet. Still a lot going on. So drop by the magicforless.com, check out all the great specials. And while you're there, fill out that free no obligation quote form and an agent will get back to you right away. Sometimes it's so quick. You're like, whew, were they watching when I was filling that out online? Were they like looking over my shoulder at my computer? No, we get it in the email, but we get back quickly. So we know how it is. I'm like, if I want to plan a Disney trip, I want to plan it like now. I'm like Veruca Salt. I want it now. I don't want it like in, 49 hours. I want to get there now. So we know, and we help you out as quick as we can. So check them out at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's at beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. All the purchases do help support the show, and you still get all your Prime benefits. So that van will be showing up before you know it, lickety split. Again, like Veruca Salt. I don't know why I'm going there today, but I am. So again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on social. We're on Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike. And give us a follow on Facebook as well, facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. And join us again at the Indy Disney Meet, September 21 at the Hamilton County Fairgrounds in Noblesville, Indiana. We're going to be on the main stage at the end of the event around 5:30-ish, 6, something like that. So just be there. It doesn't matter. But we're going to be recording a live show as well during the event as well. And come by and say hi. We just want to meet everybody. So benefiting Give Kids the World. That's why we're there. It's the best thing. It's awesome. So we'll see you out in Noblesville. But we're going to get out of here. It's time for the weekend. So have a good one. For Pam and Rikki, I'm Mike. Wish you an awesome weekend. But whatever you do, stay safe. And we'll see you real soon. Good stuff. All right. That was good. That's good. Report. All right. I got to run.
Good. All right. We'll see y'all.
Yeah, all right. Bye, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Have a great week.
Let me save this for
a good call.
7. It's so dark in here. Edited. Thanks, everybody on Facebook. Thanks, Karen. Sorry you got in here right at the end, but we'll try to catch you next time on Williamsport. I got to get out there to see the Little League World Series. It's one of my bucket list things. Bye, Jennifer. See you guys later. Bye.